Welcome to the CAD Builder video tutorial series. This video will discuss the general application settings that should be set prior to beginning your setup within CAD Builder. Begin by clicking the main menu at the top left of the screen and selecting Application Settings. There are many settings to speak of here, but we will focus on the ones relevant to the setup. The first of these is under the General submenu, CNC Machine Type. This is relevant only to CNC users. If your machine uses G-code or some other version of standard encode, then keep this setting to General. If it needs output in a proprietary scripting language to be fed into an intermediate software like BSolid, BASWorks, Zoned Cut Center, etc., then pick one of the other modes. Special modes modify the tools and machine libraries to account for attributes relevant to these programs' outputs. ProKitchen's Global Options toggles a legacy catalog options mode for selecting a design's global options. It should be set to on if you plan to export cabinet catalogs to ProKitchen design software. Otherwise, it should be off by default. Next, we can navigate to the Display submenu. There are two settings under the Cabinet Editor section, Show Processing and Show Connectors. These control whether material joint processing and associated connectors are shown in the wireframe editor or not. For example, we will open a base cabinet with an adjustable shelf in the editor. If we enable processing at the top of the screen, we can see the shelf pin holes and any other joints affecting cabinet parts. Enabling connectors does the same, but for the joint connectors like shelf pin holes, dowels, screws, etc. These modes can be temporarily toggled in the editor as demonstrated, but their default state is dictated in the display menu. They should be set to off for most computers so that the program is not slowed down whenever opening the wireframe editor. If you are not getting performance issues when displaying a large number of cabinet parts, then they can be left on. The last submenu to take care of now is Units. The Units submenu determines each module's units and its most significant figures. This affects how the program interprets your input, as well as how it displays values and can be adjusted as necessary. For example, we will set the bill of materials, BOM units, to inches and 1/64th, meaning that our input will be rounded to the nearest 1/64th inch. Then we will set the reports to inches and 1/16th. Now we will go to the BOM menu, drag in a cabinet, and make its width 21 and 1/64th. If we then access the Reports module and look at the cabinet list, it will show the cabinet's width to be 21 inches, since that is the nearest 16th inch value to the true width. In other words, some menus must have the full depth of accuracy, whereas others can get away with fewer significant figures when displaying the same information. The actual calculated values do not change until you modify it within a certain menu. This can be useful when dealing with a lot of unit conversions. For example, let's say you are trying to create the clearance specifications for a drawer runner. These are usually listed in millimeters, whereas most other materials benefit from the imperial system. So we can temporarily switch the materials menu to millimeters and 0.01 precision and type away. At the end of this process, we can switch the materials back to inches and 1/32nd. CAD Builder will display to the nearest 1/32nd, but the true millimeter values are kept in the background for calculation purposes. In summary, different menus can use different units and precisions, which you can modify at any time. Here are the settings we recommend that you begin with. For default, inches and 1/16th precision. BOM would be inches and 1/32nd. Cabinet construction, set to inches and 1/64th, since we need precision values for various tolerances. For CNC, relevant to CNC users only and should be set to inches and highest decimal precision of 0.0001. Design can be set to inches and 1/32. Drawing should be inches and 1/16 depending on how you would like to read part sizes. Materials set to inches and 1/16 for non-CNC users and inches and .001 for CNC licenses. Pricing would be inches and 1/16 and reports to inches and 1/16, once again depending on the preferred part size values. This video focuses on the application settings most relevant to users prior to tackling their setup with CAB Builder. This menu's other utilities are relevant mostly to the design stage, so these will be featured in future videos. Thank you for watching. To view additional video tutorials, please visit www.cabbuildersoftware.com/training.